Hello everyone, Lurgs here, and today it's the BMW Mini first generation, the dashboard warning lights and symbols and what they mean. It's really important to take note of any warning lights which remain on your dashboard. When you turn the ignition on, a lot of the lights should come on, but then they should go out. If they remain lit, then you may have a problem. If you've got a red warning light permanently lit, then stop the vehicle and check it immediately. Critical or major damage could occur if you carry on driving. If it's a yellow warning light, that means that it is important. Check it out as soon as you can and keep an eye on the warning light. If it's green or blue, then that is for information only. On this particular Mini one, you've got two dashboard clusters. You've got this one just in front of the steering wheel and you've got the big one in the centre. And I'll take you through all the lights which are on this particular model. Right, let's get cracking. This is the engine coolant temperature gauge. If this gets anywhere near the top in the red, then you must pull over and switch off your engine immediately. Serious critical damage could occur to your engine if it overheats. You may have a leak in your coolant system, or maybe the coolant system just needs topping up. But whatever you do, don't open the coolant when the engine is hot. Make sure it cools right down before you top up any coolant. This is the fuel gauge. Make sure you fill up with fuel before that gets too low. And this little symbol here has got a little arrow on it which is pointing to the left. That means your fuel filler cap is on the left hand side. If this EML light remains lit, there's a fault in your engine electronics. It's possible to continue your journey maybe with reduced engine power, so you need to get that checked out as soon as possible. There is a fault in the catalytic converter. This is on the exhaust system. This is the battery warning light. If this remains on whilst you're driving, it means that your battery is not charging. That could be a faulty alternator, or it could actually be a snapped alternator belt. And I'll put a link above about how to check the battery. If this remains lit, it means that engine oil pressure is too low. Pull over as soon as you can and turn off the engine. It could just mean that you need to top up your engine with some engine oil. If this remains lit or is flashing, it's a fault with your ABS system. This is the automatic braking system. It could just be that you've got a faulty ABS wheel sensor on one of your wheels. And there's a link above now about how to replace one of those. This is the brake warning light. This just means that you've got the handbrake applied. If the handbrake isn't applied and this remains lit, it could just mean that you've got low brake fluid levels and that needs topping up. If you have sensors on your brake pads, if this remains lit, it means your brake pads are getting low. You need to replace your brake pads. If this remains lit, it means you've got a problem with your airbags. You may be able to diagnose this fault using an OBD2 reader. I'll put a link above now about where the port is. If this remains lit, it just means that your engine bonnet or hood is open or the tailgate is open. Check those and make sure that they're closed properly. This is the TPMS light, the tyre pressure warning system. If one of the pressures on your tyres is incorrect or it's low, this will flash and let you know that you've got a problem with one of your tyres. It could mean that you've got a slow puncture, or maybe you just need to put some more air in one of your tyres. Once you've checked all the pressures on your tyres and inflated them to the correct pressure, you can then reset the TPMS light system and that light should go out. And there's a link above now about how to do that. This just means that you're indicating left or right, or you've got your hazards on. This means that your headlight main beams are on. Only use this on a darkened road when there's nothing coming towards you, because it will dazzle other drivers. Right, let's go over to the dashboard cluster above the steering wheel. If you happen to have a Mini with cruise control and you set the cruise control, this light will remain lit while it's on. This is the automatic stability control plus traction, or dynamic stability control, DSC. If this flashes, that means the system is active and traction and braking forces are regulated. So maybe if you're pushing the accelerator too hard and it's wet or slippery conditions, it may activate and stop the wheels from spinning. So this indicator may just flash on when it's being activated. If it remains lit all the time, it could be that the system has been switched off at the button or that it is faulty. This means that you haven't fastened your seat belts. Tut tut, clunk click every trip. If you have fastened your seatbelts, then there's probably a fault with your seatbelt sensors. If you've got a diesel engined Mini, this is the DDE light, the digital diesel electronics light. If this light comes on when you're driving, then get the system checked. This could just be a fault with one of your diesel glow plugs. When you first turn the ignition on in a diesel Mini, the glow plug warning light should come on and remain lit while it's heating up the glow plugs, and then once they're up to temperature, that light should go out. And this here is just the outside temperature. I hope that was useful and you don't see any of the major warning lights on your dashboard. And now it's time for a lovely cup of tea. If you found that video useful, please subscribe by pressing this button down here so you don't miss more videos on how to save you time and money. There's also some other videos around the edges of the screen here. If any of those are useful to you, then you can select those now. Thank you for visiting my channel, everyone. I really appreciate it.